Much. I'm just going to take a snapshot here for a moment, if you don't mind, because I've been out of town for quite some time, and I'm actually heading back to New Jersey to care for my mom on Tuesday. So this is just a really special opportunity, and I want to thank Reverend Don for giving me this chance to be with you in this way, because you know how much I like hanging out with you in this way. So before I came in, I asked Reverend Don, I said, I'd like to, talk with everyone. What's going on there? And he said, the budget cuts are a pretty big deal, a lot of concern, a lot of worry, a lot of fear. I said, okay, well, let's title the talk, The Thing We Want to Experience. So today's talk is entitled Thriving in the Face of Budget Cuts. So I am a Denali Care recipient, and I called my dentist prior to arriving and made my appointment, and they know all that. And I got into town Monday night at midnight, 4 time zones, 9 hours door to door, and waking up pretty crispy the next day. And I go to the dentist and I check in, and the woman says, well, that'll be $197. And I say to her, oh, this must be a mistake. I'm a Denali Care recipient. My understanding is that there's no cost. And she says, yes, but unfortunately, the budget cuts took dental off the table. So the first thing I thought is, oh, Spirit, you are so good. Because every time I give a talk, Spirit always makes sure that I have the juice of the experience fresh in my system so I can speak from a very authentic and real place. So they say to me, we can't take care of you today until you pay. I say, well, I don't have any money. I can't do that. I just flew into town. Well, you need to put together a payment plan. So I put together a plan, and I'm able to keep the appointment. As I'm walking down the hallway, though, I start to feel shame. I start to feel frustration and anger, and I start to feel unloved. And I start to feel unseen, and I start to feel unworthy and just diminished in my value as a citizen. All of that in a 20-second walk. So by the time I get into the chair and I am reclining, I feel it, and it's coming. So I say to the young woman, I raise my hand, I say, excuse me, I'm about to cry. Please don't freak out. There's just a lot going on right now. And what did this angel do? She took her mask off in more ways than one, and she comforted me. And it was an amazing experience. At one thought, I was like, Camille, is that you? Because it is very much the work I do for other people, and I just opened up and received it. It was amazing. This woman went on to say, it's okay. What you do for your mother is more important than all of these other things. The universe is kind. It's loving. It's abundant. I mean, it was just incredible. It was so healing. She says, there was a time when I only had $14 in my bank account. I'm like, well, how does she know that? And she said, she goes, and I had these bills. And I was like, well, Spirit, I believe, and I don't know how this is going to happen, so you do it. She goes, and I got a call an hour later from my car insurance company who wanted to pay me $600 to use my car for 3 hours in a court case. Now, first of all, we know one thing for sure. That's not our mind. No matter how good our mind is, and it's very good, it takes a divine mind to put together something like that. That's the mind that holds all the planets in place. That's the mind that knows all because it is all. The second thing is, because she believed, because she had a particular mindset, because she was expecting, it was able to orchestrate something as outrageous as that to fulfill her expectation. It's amazing. So the tears dried, the cleaning began, and I felt a little better, but it was still lingering. So by the time I got to the car, I was still feeling it. However, I have a toolbox that is clean and sparkling and brand new with tools that I know work. Because you see, if I didn't have that, I would have gone like this, all the way down, and I would have been depressed by the narrative my mind was presenting to me. And based on appearances, it was a very real narrative. But I knew by how I was feeling that that was happening, and I also knew that I didn't have to feel that way. So I reached into my toolboxes and I rearranged my thinking. And I talked to myself and I reminded myself of the things this young woman was saying. The universe is for me, nothing is against me. All of those wonderful things that we learn in this type of a philosophy. And as a result, my feeling state started to lift, it started to lift, it started to lift, and I was able to set my mind on that which is true. So the question for you today is, what is your mindset? It's not a judgmental question. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's an exploratory question. What is your mind set on? Because for many of us, our minds are set on what's happening out here. We call it the world of effects, conditions, situation, people. So many of us are taking the information out here and we're allowing that to establish our mindset. In this center, in this community, in this philosophy, like others, we say no. We say we're going to establish it from the inside out, because thriving is not a material experience, though we have been told it is. Thriving is not necessarily the accumulation of things out here. Thriving is actually an internal atmosphere. Thriving is an internal atmosphere. Not to say that kind of thriving isn't wonderful and good. Nobody's saying that. However, if you've noticed, it's collapsing. If you've noticed, it's falling away. Because that's what happens. It's called change. It's the evolutionary arch of life. It's collapsing under its own weight because it's run its course. And we've called this moment in. We've called it in because that teaching, that formula, that philosophy is no longer serving the evolution of our thinking and our heart. This is something in my book that I talk a lot about through 100 days of meditating for an hour every day. I came to discern the difference between my heart and my head and my mind. I encourage you to spend some time there because the mind works by facts, figures, information, data. And that's what my mind was doing in that moment. It was collecting all of that and communicating to me. But Maya, the young assistant, she was representing the heart. The heart that said, it's okay, life is abundant, the universe is for you, nothing is against you, it's all going to work out. So it's really not about mastering anymore. I kind of feel like, if you're going to master anything, master your mind. Master understanding how your mind works. Master knowing the difference when your mind is speaking and when your heart is speaking. One of the best ways to know that is how you feel. If you feel constricted and weighed down and heavy, chances are your mind is in play. If it feels light and good, chances are your heart is in play because your heart works by feelings. Like when you walk in here today, we do work. We do prayerful work to elevate the feeling tone in this room so you feel that when you walk in. A lot of people say, oh yeah, as soon as I walked in, I could feel it. So that's a preview. If it feels good, chances are it's going to be good. Sometimes you walk in a place and you go, oh, something's off here. And chances are it is. So what is your mind set on? What is your mindset? And you can take the word budget cuts and put anything in there. You can put anything in there. You could put divorce, you can put bankruptcy, you can put whatever your situation is. And by thriving, I don't mean to disrespect the human experience, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the opportunity is through this philosophy, through principles, spiritual principles, you have the opportunity in the face of divorce to thrive. And what that means is to be centered in a truth greater than the experience. You have an opportunity to thrive in the face of you losing your job because your mind is set on a universal truth and spiritual principles that are unyielding in their accuracy. That's the great thing about the science of mind and spirit. It's built on principles that are unyielding. They're mathematical. They're scientific. They never fail us. That's why that guy said a couple thousand years ago, with all thy getting, get the understanding. He never said, get thee a 72-inch plasma TV screen, which is fine. But the point is that we spend more time in our gadgets. Like, we would never think of not knowing everything our phone does.
Right.
Because we know that that phone is going to help us. We would never not spend money to figure out how our TV and our phones work, because we know that the more we know about how they work, the more they're going to work for us. And yet, when it comes to ourselves, when it comes to our growth, when it comes to spiritual education, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. The one I hear all the time is I don't do online classes, because the mind wants to keep you safe and small and right where you are. That's what the mind's job is. That's why I always tell people, meditation is not about the end of thoughts. It's never going to happen. Your thoughts are here to be thought. They're here for you to think them. So don't go in with that kind of a goal. How are we doing so far?
Yes.
Everybody okay? Okay, so I want to encourage you to spend time taking the deep dive. I mean, Michael is here today, and I just want to acknowledge him. He's been in our community all summer. He is one of many powerful healers that are offering us the opportunity to get in and get out. That's my thing. That's why the 1 minute miracle is so powerful. 1 minute. It doesn't need to take as long as it took to get to where we are. We can get in, get out, so we can clean up. If you're still blaming your past, time to clean it up. Still blaming your parents? Oh, for the love of God, it's time to clean it up. If you're dragging that stuff into the present moment, it's informing the present moment. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you have unforgiveness, it's informing the present moment. The only thing you want informing the present moment is the presence. And as much as I'd love to take a pill and have it be gone like that, it can be gone like that, and maybe a pill does get the job done. I don't know. But my point is at some point, it is helpful for you to make the commitment, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the meditation class. This is what we do in my change class. In the change class, and there's 2 seats left. If I were you, I would just say, I'll do it. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'll do it. Because in the change class, we take the deep dive into the relationship to change. Because change is happening. Everybody talks about change, but nobody has really spent the time to take the deep dive into that subject that affects everything. What is the mindset you have about change? What is the mindset you have about what's happening out there? Because we need more people who are understanding the power of the breath. We need more people to understand that when you breathe, you're communicating to your brain there's no fight and flight. Everything's okay. Who's going to be the one out there when it hits the fan to tell everybody, let's take a breath?
Right.
It's going to be you. How do I know that? Because you're here. That's how I know that. You've cut yourself away from the pack just being here today. Who's going to be the one like Maya to take the mask off and say, it's going to be okay? It's going to be you. And we are needed right now in our own experience, in our family experience, in our work environment, in the community out there. You know, I often say to my clients, by the time it's a headline, it's already done. By the time it's a headline, it's already done. How much of your energy, your potency, your power, your emotional currency are you going to give to something that's already done? The only thing you can really do with that is help it be a reference point to the cause, which is what a lot of people are doing, and turn to the cause and put your effort into the cause. Because no matter how many times you move the rose bushes in your garden, if you want daisies, moving the roses is never going to get the daisies. Only changing the seed from the rosebud to the daisy will yield the daisy. We don't know who packed the rose into the bud, but it did. Not a single one of us goes, I'm not planting anything this hot record-breaking summer until I see the thing that not only cracks open the seed, but packed the tomato in the seed. What do? We buy the packet of the picture of the thing we want, we stick it in the ground, and we know that something we can't see is going to crack that seed open, pull it through the density of the cold, hard dirt, and bloom that which we desire. Our life is governed by universal laws that we cannot see. Who can see the law of gravity? Nobody. Who can see the results of the law of gravity? Everybody. Just because you can't see the law of gravity doesn't mean you doubt it. Maybe you do. I don't think any of you do. We certainly don't go, I'm going to go to the top of the roof and step off just to see if this thing is real. We're pretty much sure how it works, and we work in accordance with it. That's what this philosophy is all about. That's what this center is all about. That's what classes like Foundation are all about, to help you get some understanding so you can get out there in the world of effects and be thriving from the inside out. It takes practice. It's worth it. It's doable. It yields results. And things like meditation. I mean, every one of us has the opportunity today to experience a 1-minute miracle. I'm always fascinated. People walk out, I'm like, that's fantastic. People are thriving. They don't need any prayer. This is great. But if you've never had a 1-minute miracle, you should give yourself the experience of hearing what your life sounds like thriving. And that's what we're going to do right now. I have 2 more minutes, and I'm going to use these 2 minutes to take you through an exercise. And so it's really important that you listen to me so that I am on time with my allotted experience with you today. But it's really important because words are words, but unless you experience the words, ultimately it's just more words. And we walk out of there and we go, what did she say? So I want you to have the experience of thriving. You don't have to participate, but I sure hope that you do. And it's going to be very fun and simple. Your mind is not going to like it. It's going to tell you, I don't know, we're not going to do this. I don't like it. Why is she still talking? Just acknowledge your mind. Your heart wants in. Your heart doesn't even know what's going on, but you can feel how it's already, oh my God, this is so exciting, something new, we're going to play. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I want you to take a scenario, ideally not the biggest one. Just take a scenario right now that you would like to thrive in, that you would like to have a more thriving experience in. And what you do is you're going to turn to the person next to you, and everybody's going to pair up. And you're going to have 60 seconds, and I'm going to time you. And you're going to speak as if that experience is actually happening. You're going to speak, so it would have sounded like this morning before I left. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I'm getting to talk at the center. All these people showed up. It was absolutely amazing. Things flowed through me with ease. I sold the rest of my books. 2 people signed up for the change class. It was just so wonderful. I did prayer for people. I hugged, right? Before it happened. Okay? And then I'm going to say stop. No talking. Feel the vibration of that. Then the second person is going to go, we're going to stop, no talking, and then I'm going to go right into prayer. If the person who goes is speaking, if they can't speak or they stop, all you say as their partner is, and? That's it. No talking, no commenting. And that gives the person a prompt to keep going. Lastly, it's just fun. It's just fun. So stand up if you want to play. Find your partner. Find your partner. Just team up with somebody. Okay? Just team up. Stand up. And if you don't have a partner, I'll find you one. Okay? Okay? So I just ask you to be quiet. I just ask you to be quiet. Does everybody have a partner? Okay. Who's going first? Raise your hand.
One of us got to raise our hand.
Okay. All right, be quiet. Does anybody not have a partner? Everybody has a partner? Okay. First person's ready. You're going to speak as if it's already happened. You've met this person. It's 30 days from today. And they say to you, how are you doing? Are you a threesome here? Are you 3? Bob, do you need a partner? Yeah. Phyllis, can you go be with Bob so we can stay on time with our... Thank you. You 2. So we got 2 there. And then you 2 here. Ready? First person goes. You're going to... Yeah, just let me get these guys set up and we're going to go. Okay. Ready, set, go. Okay. You 2 right here. You do it together and then you guys do it together. Okay? Or you 2 do it together and you 2 do it together. Take a breath, quiet. Take a breath, quiet. Quiet. Feel it. Feel the energy in the room. Second person. Ready? Go.
Physical knowledge was in town. Of course, we were every single night. We would not to walk, but you give those sometimes hours, half a day, and then to work ways and things 2 or 3 days and miles and miles ahead of us. It was coming out of corner and we knew friendships that it's not such a quiet
Okay, everybody stop. Quiet. Quiet. Feel the energy. And if you're comfortable doing so, take your partner's hand. Close your eyes. And feel what you feel like thriving. Remember this feeling. This is the feeling of creation. Right here and right now. This feels so good because that whole and Holy Spirit is moving through you as it desires to. It feels so good because this is the power and the potency of that one life that lives and moves and has its beingness in, through, and around all life, in particular your life today. We know that there's only one thing happening. We recognize that back behind the appearance of two or more, there truly is one thing, one breath, one heart, one mind, one love that is so infinite and so unbounded and so outrageous that it is able to project itself outward into the many. And I know for each and every person tonight that something has happened today. Something has happened. We have touched a truth today that can never be forgotten. It is in our body. We can feel it in our cells. We are alive with our own thriving. We know now from our own experience that we can indeed thrive in the face of any life experience. We understand that this is the juice of creation, that when we practice speaking that which we desire as if it's already here, the law has no choice but to say yes. And so let us continue to speak as if it's already done. Let us greet each other on Sundays and play the game and speak as if it's already done. Let us include this spiritual center. Let us see it thriving. Let us see it packed, because we have an answer here for that which is happening. And it takes all of us to go out there and to speak this truth so that people say, where on earth are you getting this from? And you bring them home to this place so that we're all thriving, so that we all have the audacity to speak the truth in the face of the appearance of less than. Let us come together and understand that we have power. We have potency right now. We are not a victim of that which is happening. Life is happening through us. We have the opportunity to rearrange the conditions by thriving from the inside out. Our minds are set on truth today. It cannot be undone, and for this I am grateful. The seeds that have been spoken today have indeed been planted into that divine mind. That law that we cannot see has indeed cracked it open and must and is right now gathering up all of the nutrients necessary so that each of us has that very experience as our very lives. For this and so much more, I give thanks. We let it be, and together we affirm this, we accept it, we welcome it, we anticipate it by saying, and so it is. And that's a wrap.